Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and welcome to some more StarCraft 2. Today it is time for another Terran game, and this time around we're up against a Zerg player here. I'm gonna try my very best to give you some commentary while playing at the same time as well. Obviously, I wouldn't consider Terran to be my main race. I do play a lot more Zerg than I play Terran, but we are currently right around top 25 in Master League on this account as well, where I exclusively play random. Now, I am getting carried a little bit by my Zerg win rate, but that's alright. That's alright. We're definitely not doing bad. Now, for some reason, my Terran versus Terran is actually the matchup that's my strongest. I don't exactly know why that is, because I don't feel like I understand the matchup that well. I feel like I understand Terran versus Zerg a lot better. But the fact of the matter is that even if you understand the matchup, oftentimes it's not easy to execute certain strategies. So what I plan on playing in this particular game is just straight up macro. I don't like playing cheese. I don't like playing, you know, gimmicky strategies. I don't want to go for like a proxy Banshee cloak all in, or like a cyclone drop in the main, like something stupid like that, right? Or like a blue flame Hellion run by. And well, I do sometimes do these kind of builds as well. I prefer playing just a macro focused style instead, and you know, it's where I want to try and build this game from. So it looks like my opponent is playing relatively standard here with a hatchery first. And I just want to check whether or not he took a gas. He is taking a gas right now. So he's going to get some Zerglings out, and he's going to get some Zergling speed as well, but nothing too early. That's a misplaced Lowko. Alright. So very shortly, I want to be adding on my own command center here. I will be going for a orbital as well as a Reaper. Not rushing the Reaper out or anything, which I think is fine. Getting it a little bit later oftentimes seems to work out in your favor as well, when your opponent isn't going for super quick Zergling speed. But that Reaper is primarily just going to be there for some scouting and a little bit of pressure. Any kind of drone kills that we can pick up is going to be good. Now, obviously, I am more than likely going to be able to make some mistakes in this game, which I think is fine. But just so you are aware of it, I will more than likely make some mistakes, in particular when it comes to micro. I feel my macro is pretty good when it comes to playing Terran. There's still a lot left to learn as well when it comes to playing macro. Gotta do some scouting with that, or when it comes to playing micro. Yeah, there's just like a lot of different kinds of little gritty nitty details that I'll have to get down a little bit better. Now, very shortly, I want to be adding on the reactor as well on this base, or on this building, so I can start pumping out some reacted Hellions. Hellions obviously good for denying creep primarily. If I can get any kind of, you know, drone kills, that's going to be great. But let's have a quick look with this Reaper. See what my opponent is up to. Yeah, so he made a bunch of Zerglings. Nothing too scary. Not really seeing anything too terrifying. And I guess I'm just gonna go for a super quick third command center as well, because my opponent seems to be playing a macro focused style. I want to check real quick whether or not I can see any kind of, you know, scariness happening here. Third command center, relatively uncommon nowadays. Most people that tend to go for third command centers are you know, Terran players in other matchups. Not really in this one. But it used to be really common in Heart of the Swarm for this to happen. And I mean, I've been doing it a little bit. It's not like the safe is the safest things, that's for certain. But you can get such a big economy early on that you can start supporting a crazy amount of workers. Oh, that's a really big pickup. That's a really big pickup. I may very well be able to keep on denying this now. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I don't want to, like, risk it, you know? No need to risk it either. Okay. We'll go for a double follow-up here as well with the engineering base. And I'm going to go ahead and land this dude at the natural. Obviously, we're going to need to build some of those as well. And I'll just keep on producing more and more things. Okay, send these guys over to the natural. Okay. Did I get these things stuck? Oh no, I was gonna say... Yeah, they are stuck! Wow. I lost 2 SCVs. Rip the dream. Didn't mean to do that, but hey. Sometimes it goes wrong. Oh, snap! He didn't actually add on the third base anymore. Okay, he added on it over here. Okay, I'm glad. I was gonna say, like, that would have been a little scary. Yeah, that's really unfortunate, though. Oh, well. We'll add on some extra barracks very soon as well, now that I got a sick economy. Okay. Almost lost a whole bunch of things there. Go ahead and add on the armory, so we can use this for a fight later on as well. And so far, so good. Actually, I'm gonna stop using that. And we'll queue up a couple of other upgrades as well. I want to start landing this one over there. We got a relatively big army. I don't know exactly what kind of unit composition he's going for, but I'm thinking double medevac production can never really go wrong, and we may be able to do a bit of a push out when 1-1 finishes up, which is almost. Okay. Could go for some siege tank production here too. And we'll add on those into a control group as well. Alright. Adding the SCVs into the gas geyser. And we'll see what we can do here. Okay, he does have the Overlord speed. I would like to know what kind of unit comp he's going for though, because I'm not really completely aware of it right now. I don't know if moving out here is a smart idea by me. I want to move out, but... Okay. I'm gonna move out. We're gonna move out. +1/+1 is done. It's fine. We'll want to move out. I don't know if he's going to mute us. Just in case he is. Okay. Here we go, here we go. I wish I had a scan. I have a very small army. This is a random ass timing though. It looks like my opponent was not ready for this. This is the advantage of playing Zerg normally. Like random timings can help you out a lot. Because your opponent sees that third base and they're like, hey, okay. I'm just gonna go ahead and, you know, try and macro my way out of this. Now, sadly, he did manage to hold it right there in the end. And we don't have the crazy economy that we need to really to hold this. Like, we do have the crazy economy to hold this, but we don't really have... I'm gonna, like, unhotkey this thing. We don't really have a lot of army left over. I've been not producing as well as I could have. We should probably make a wall off up on this ramp as well. Okay, let's repair that. +2/+2 is doing quite well. Oh, I actually never started +2 attack. That sucks. Okay, starting up a crazy amount of production now though. I gotta keep in mind here that these bases will start mining out very shortly as well, and I may have gotten a little too much. Although, we still are able to do a nice push out for sure. Okay. I'm gonna do a sensor tower here just in case, because I would need to know where my opponent is coming from. Okay, now we go, here we go. Now we got the production train happening. Look at all these Marines! That's it. Got a lot of idle SCVs always whenever I'm playing Terran. Just because a lot of these things obviously do require you to pay close attention to the amount of things you got. Like, to the amount of buildings you're actually putting down. Okay. Need another SCV here, boys. I think we're gonna start moving out very soon. I mean... yeah, there's no good reason not to, right? We're just gonna have to micro our ass off. I mean... I gotta be honest, like I said, you know, I feel like my macro is pretty solid. But my micro definitely is not as good as it could be. And that is where this fight is all gonna be about. I mean, we've definitely been having a very big army here. And that's all good. No! No! Oh man, I called it. I called it as well. Get out of there, Medivacs! Oh no, I set him up for like the perfect engagement. Oh man, I need to work on that so bad. I need to work on that so bad. I mean, we still killed a lot of things there as well, but... Ah, that sucks. That engagement, like, if any Terran players are watching this, that must have been, like, cringe city there, because you could probably predict that was gonna happen. I probably should have just get rid of all the siege tanks and maybe go for, like, widow mines instead. Probably would have been a smarter choice in my situation, just because the whole siege tank micro cost me a lot of APM, and I really can't spare all of that. Okay. Okay. We're gonna start moving. I don't have that big of an army anymore, though. Okay, okay, here we go. We get a retry. There we go. Oh, man. Oh, man. Macro-wise, we're doing well. Micro-wise, not so much. My god. No way. Oh, he's playing it so safe and methodical as well. Yeah, widow mines are so much easier to use as well as like than siege tanks, honestly. Like, oh man, they're slipping through the cracks, and sadly, even though we macroed well, I'm forced to GG out of this one. Alright, so here we are in the replay. What I want to quickly look at is the amount of harvesters that I had compared to him, and the amount of supply, as well as the upgrades that we had, okay? Because I felt like I played it quite well up until my very first move out. The very first move out is one of those moments where you can learn from, and I always talk about the concept of learning by losing. This is a prime example where I felt really strong, I felt like I was in a great spot, and I just lost because I made a pretty silly micro mistake and practically gave away my entire army. Now, my feeling at that time was that I was really far ahead, right? It felt like I was at a very big advantage compared to where my opponent was at. But I want to hear verify whether or not that was actually the case, and whether or not it was actually the micro that was going, you know, poorly there. For anyone wondering, I've been seeing a couple of comments there. The game APM that I had in this particular one was 368. Which honestly is pretty fast. I'm a little bit close in this. I really did like this move out. Look at this. I'm really far ahead at this point. I just sort of overextend. Like, I was about 20 supply up here. We're still up, but I think I could have pushed out a little bit sooner. Now, all in all, though, it wasn't a bad push out. Anyway, like, this is where we start moving out very shortly. Look at the supply. Look at this supply count. I was really far ahead supply-wise. Had a massive army compared to my opponent. Wow. Alright, yeah, this is even worse than I thought it would be. I should have just not brought the siege tanks. I should have just put them down and like let it be at that. Because this is 190 supply versus 146 for a Zerg. And that is not a place you ever want to be losing in as a Terran player. Like, honestly, if I wouldn't have bought it with those siege tanks and I would have like worked on the splits instead, I would have had such an easy time doing this. But because I normally like go for widow mines instead, I felt like I, you know, needed to bring the siege tanks that I made as well. So here's these splits very shortly. They were just very, very poor. I also advanced on creep too quickly. Look, this right here is not good. This right here is not good. It takes like 20 seconds or so for all this creep to recite. Or like recede, and I really, really need to, you know, pay attention to that. Yeah. This is where my opponent simply decides to stim forward. And look at this. I am advancing way too quickly. Way too quickly. So this is 200 supply Terran versus 149 supply Zerg. Macro-wise, we didn't really miss much of a beat here. Definitely still could, you know, improve a lot of this as well. But here, look at this engagement. Just all my units are clumped up. I'm engaging on creep. As you may be aware, engaging on creep is the worst thing you can do as Terran. Just because the Banelings will have a very easy time connecting with all your units. And at this point, my opponent just gets a grand advantage. I mean, I really was super far ahead this game. But learning from losing just taught me that I should really go ahead. Enter that creep a little bit slowly. Or maybe like send a hit squad out first before like moving out. Because I need to clean up the creep tumors and then engage off creep if I can at all make that happen. Also, Widow Mines are lots easier to control than siege tanks. I don't think siege tanks are a good option here. Just because, well, they require a lot more babysitting. And it's really the Marines that are, you know, the ones that do a lot of damage here. And the Widow Mines are, you know, much easier to control in combination of the Queens. And even at this point, like, we're still ahead supply-wise, right? We're still ahead supply-wise, but my opponent is starting to tech up. And once again, moving out here, 180 supply. And I just sort of, like, let the advantage slip away from my hands. Like, same mistake here. I advanced too quickly on creep. And while we definitely failed early on, I feel like this game was still a success. Just because we learned something new when playing the Marine bio style versus Zerg. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, even though it was a loss. And even though we definitely could have played a lot better. You know, I have a lot to work on. I've got a lot to practice. And I'm excited to be playing more. Because I'm sure if I practice for a little while longer, we can actually get at a much higher level than we currently are playing at. So I want to thank y'all for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And I'll see you in the next one.